The Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments is an organization that brings together 24 jurisdictions in the District, Maryland, and Virginia area. It brings together local leaders at the municipal, county, state, and federal level, as well as our staffs across the region. And the person who has been shepherding all of that coordinated activity for the last 10 years is Mr. Chuck Bean. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank Chuck for all his work. Montgomery County has been an active partner in the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments for many years. Prior colleagues of ours like Nancy Navarro and Roger Berliner were active participants as well as members in this council, and I do have the honor to be the current board chair, though I will say you retiring the year I take over as board chair, not so happy about that. We have a proclamation today that we will read in a moment, but just to talk about the enormity of the work that's been undertaken under the last decade under Mr. Bean. We have implemented regionally looking at not just transportation issues, but really helping to ensure there's dedicated funding for Metro, implementing racial equity work regionally, as well as a region really reacting to and helping our constituents during COVID-19. These have been all things that Mr. Bean has helped 24 jurisdictions coordinate efforts around in our region. And I can tell you, if you think having 11 of us up here is a lot of work, having elected officials from Virginia, Maryland, and DC all come together and work together is really such a feat. So thank you, Chuck, for your patience, your knowledge, and your guidance over these last 10 years. And I will turn it over to President Glass and then County Executive Elrich.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Stewart, or Chair Stewart, we should say. And so as much as this is a time to celebrate and honor Chuck for his tenure at COG, it is also a time to celebrate the ascension of Councilmember Stewart to chair. So I look forward to continue serving with you as I voted for you last week. And while you made a joke about Chuck stepping down as you step up, he is stepping down as I join the board as well. So I hope this is not a Montgomery County issue, but though you are welcome back anytime. And as Councilmember Stewart noted, this region operates best when we operate together. And you really have been a conductor in that regional symphony that is COG. Whether it's housing and transportation and economic development, the brain power and the passion that you and your colleagues bring to COG and to our region is so important. And so I know you're not going far, but I will spend my Wednesday afternoons once a month with Councilmember Stewart, Chair Stewart, and I know that you might be streaming in, but thank you for everything that you've done for the region, and I look forward to what you're going to do next.
So I want to thank you for your years of service, and I served, I guess, 11 of those years with you when I was on the council. These were interesting times, and what I think was one of the most important things we did was the decision to actually pick 10 game-changing things that regional governments needed to do to deal with transportation. We all had grand plans, and at some point we realized that nobody was going to build all the things that had been laid out there, and we should actually focus on what was doable and what would be the most impactful. And I think the shift in thinking toward what had the greatest impact was really important for us. We needed leadership that could do that transition, and you were part of it. So I want to thank you for that and the other work you've done. And of course, everything COG did during COVID was important. We really needed to function as a region. And you kind of led the effort on that side, and I made everybody else's job, I think, a lot easier. So thank you very much.
All right. The three of us can read the proclamation. I'll start with Councilmember Glass, and we'll move that way.
Great. The County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland proclamation. Whereas Chuck Bean has been a strong partner serving as Executive Director of the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, COG, since 2012, providing exemplary service to the local jurisdictions and the 5.7 million residents who call this region home. And
Whereas he is a reliable professional with strategic insight into the region's transportation and housing. Throughout his tenure, he has applied his political skills, positive energy, and big picture perspective in directing 125 subject matter experts and administrative professionals on COG staff, managing an annual budget of $41 million and bolstering COG's reputation as the hub for partnership where area officials collaborate, set goals, and take actions to shape a better region.
And whereas Mr. Bean worked with leadership across jurisdictions to encourage the building of affordable homes near where people live and optimizing transit, and with regional goal of solving issues like transportation congestion and the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, and
whereas his guidance and counsel to elected officials across the region has led to numerous initiatives and comprehensive planning solutions to increase affordable housing, which has led to the development of the 2022 publication Region United, which provides a framework for unified planning priorities through 2030 and has served as a basis for Montgomery County's equity emphasis areas, which will continue to serve as a crucial concept for policymakers to build better housing for underserved communities. And
whereas Mr. Bean leaves behind a great legacy of working to improve Metro, including COG's milestone of helping secure dedicated funding for the vital transportation network in the Metropolitan Washington region.
all right. Now, therefore, be it resolved that County Executive Mark Elridge, Council President Evan Glass, Councilmember Stewart, and the Council of Montgomery County, Maryland hereby recognize Chuck Bean. And be it further resolved that the county officially recognizes his immense contributions to Montgomery County and his lasting impact on the residents throughout the entire metropolitan Washington region. Thank you. Mr. Bean, would you like to say anything?
Well, thank you. You all are very generous with your time and your words. I really appreciate it. It's great to be here and hearing these words in one of the greatest counties in the country.
region.
Well, I can be a little bit more hyperbolic as I go out. So one of the greatest counties in the country. It's been an honor and privilege to serve in this role as executive director. It's a lot of detailed work behind the scenes, but leadership, as County Executive Elridge talked about, his participation before County Executive on the Transportation Planning Board really helped revitalize our work. And I think in 2014, we called our long-range plan the Constrained Long-Range Plan. And now we call it Visualize 2045 because it has aspirational elements. All the coordination with county staff on Homeland Security and public safety, on health and on food security. Big work ahead on water resiliency and supply. Thank you for the highlighting of Region United in the proclamation. I think the identification of the high capacity transit centers where predominance of our jobs are going to be, but linking that with the census tracts that we've denominated as equity emphasis areas and finding the connection between those census tracts of high focus on equity and the census tracts that have a high focus on opportunity, I think is going to be key. Anyway, I'm starting to get into the details. Let me just get in, close by saying thank you so much. And council members that I haven't met because of your recent election, it's a pleasure to meet you. Others I've known throughout all my tenure, whether it's been on the council or maybe through Gaithersburg or another jurisdiction, and some I've known for a quarter century. It's been great working with you. So thank you on the executive branch, on the council branch, and please extend my gratitude to Mr. Madalino and all the staff that we've been able to collaborate with over the years. Thank you. Thank you.